All right, everybody, welcome back to the final few lectures of the MySQL section of the course. I know this has been a little bit more advanced of a section, if not way more advanced than all the other sections we've been working on, but that's okay because the best way of learning is by doing and by challenging yourself, making mistakes and fixing those mistakes. And for sure, we've done our fair share of that throughout the course, especially this section. So what we're going to do now is go out with a bang and create something amazing. We're going to create a client manager PHP MySQL application, web application. And what it is a client manager where you can log into your account, you can view your clients, you can add clients, edit clients, delete clients, and then you can log out of that session. And so it's fully built. That's what we're going to be doing, and it's going to challenge everything you've learned, and we're going to be incorporating some new things that we haven't even learned yet in MySQL. One note before we get started, what you can expect from this project, we're not going to be building the HTML and CSS of the application because it's built in HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, but we've already spent hours and hours in this entire course learning those things. So I'm pretty confident that you should have a good idea of how that all works. We're not going to spend the unnecessary amount of time it will take to code up the templates. We're just going to focus on the PHP and MySQL integration of these templates. And so I'm going to provide you with the final template structure that you can work from. So I'll show you what that looks like here. In my Finder here, I've got the client address book final and the client address book static. And I'm going to provide those to you in the course files resources. And so the static one is just the static, HTML. We're using PHP here. We have the includes folder, and we have all the files that we're going to be using. Some of these are empty, like the connection.php and functions.php. But for the most part, we kind of have everything set up for you to start integrating with PHP and MySQL. And it's built in Bootstrap, and it's quite nicely done. So it's appealing on the eye as we work on it. And the client address book final is the final client address book application with all the code commented, fully good to go, and the client address book SQL file, which you can, in your phpMyAdmin, you can go ahead and create a new database called client address book, and then you can import that SQL file right here, and then you should be good to go if you want to reference the final SQL file. But we're going to be learning how to create this whole database once we get started. So you don't really need to do that, but it's all there for reference. So the final files are there for reference, which you can reference throughout as you're coding or at the end just to see how you did. And the static files are what you're going to work with right now. So what I need you to do is in your MySQL folder that we've been working on the past little while here, create a new folder just called address book, all lowercase, no spaces. And that's just a directory in our MySQL directory. And that's where we're going to have all of our stuff. So I want you to go ahead and create that folder and then drag everything from the client address book static. So grab all these files and drag it into your address book folder in your MySQL directory. And that's where we're going to get started. And that's where we're going to get working from. So go ahead and do that. And I'll meet you right back here in a few seconds once you're ready to get going. All right, now you should be back. And what I want to do before we get coding, I want to show you, give you a little run through of how the application works. And so here's the shell of the application. This is the final application that I built, and I'm going to show you how it all works. So we have the client address book login page, pretty simple layout. I'm just going to log in with an account that I created in my MySQL database. So brad@codecollege.ca. And then I'm going to log in with a password that I created. It's going to check the hashed password, verify, and there we go, log me in. My client address book, I have one client here, and it's just a dummy. I'm not a dummy, but it's just a dummy client that I've created. And so it's just showing me one. Now, what I can do here is you can see I have the navigation, my clients. I can add a client. It knows that I'm logged in. It's greeting me in Hawaiian, and I have a logout link. And here's my client. So what if I want to add a new client? It takes me to the add client page, and I can go ahead and add that client. And let's just say, and then if I add this client, it should add it to my database, new client added. And there we go. We have a new client. And now what if I made a mistake and I wanted to edit him? Well, I can go ahead and click that edit button there. And it pulls up all the information here. Notice up here that we have a query string with the ID of this client, and we'll get into how that works a little later. So now I auto-populated this form data, and let's just say I forgot to add the city. Update. There we go, client updated, and now everything's good to go. What if I wanted to delete a client? Well, edit and just delete. Are you sure you want to delete this client? No takebacks. Oops, no thanks. Or maybe I do want to. Yes, delete. Client deleted, and there he is. He's gone. What if I wanted to delete the other client? Just to show you what it looks like with none. Client deleted, and you have no clients. There we go. Add a client if you need a client. And then say I'm done. I want to log out. It's going to log me out. Logged out. You've been logged out, and see you next time. And so that is the client manager. And I know it's quite simple. We have login, we have the client page, we have add, edit, and delete functionality, and a logout screen. And believe it or not, as simple as that seems, there's an insane amount of work that goes into making that functional. And that's what I'm going to show you right now.